What is happening, folks? Welcome to Hunting with Tripler. In today's episode, we are solely focusing on sports and collectible cards, and specifically how much time I've invested in getting all of my cards sorted, ready for sale, and it's been a lot of time. So today we'll talk about how to get rid of bulk, what is the investment strategy that's right for you, how much time should you put into your card collection, and my first PSA card return is ready for review. Stick around, you do not want to miss this one.
I collect so many things. Would you like to share this journey with me? I will show you the prizes I got today. So come along with me, come on and join the chase. Yeah.
So people always want to know, what am I going to do with the thousands upon thousands of cards that I have in boxes that I don't even know what to do with anymore? And I'm going to show you the method that worked really well for me. And just a few days ago, I got $500 cash for all of my sports bulk cards. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did there. And then as far as investment strategies go, I did something a little bit unique and different from what a lot of people are doing, which is investing in the PSA or the graded cards. I went a completely different route. I'll show you that as well. Then how much time did I put into getting all of my cards ready? And is that something that you want to do yourself? Because in fairness, I put over 200 hours into getting all of my cards sorted, ready for grading, and or the ones that just needed to be sold raw. And finally, we have my first PSA submission that came back. Granted, it's only 400 cards and I'm still waiting on over 150 more, but this will be fun to unbox. So the video is definitely going to jump around in terms of time. I started this process way back in December. We are now at the very end of February, and so I'll do my best to organize everything right here. So let's start with, what do you do with your bulk? So getting rid of your bulk cards is going to come down to how you're going to organize everything. The first thing I did to get things started is I started breaking things down by individual collectible card, meaning Pokemon, Magic, I had Yu-Gi-Oh! I had even just random other cards like Disney, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, I even have still just random sets of cards, rodeo cards even. And then what I started to do was look up some of those sets to see if there was any value in them. Then I moved on to the sports cards, broke them down by the sport, and then I went into all of those sets to determine what cards hold really significant value, and then are those cards in there? And that was a process all on its own. So after you've organized your cards, however you want to organize them, then it comes down to having all of the leftovers. And the leftovers are usually just boxes of cards that you don't know what to do with yourself. But what I did is I started off with the sports cards. I'm gonna put a picture up right here of the listing I put on my local market. The local market that you have is gonna be different from the one I have, but in general, I'd say sports cards in bulk right now are selling really well on your local market, and plus trying to sell all of that stuff on eBay, that's brutal. The OfferUp listing was super simple. I basically put massive lot of football, baseball, basketball cards, and then in my description I kind of itemized how many boxes were of each, and it just worked out really well. Within the first 5 minutes, I think I got over 25 messages, and within the first day it was completely sold, and I got full asking price, and I was really happy about that. And granted, I still have a lot of bulk left. They're in the form of sets, and I'm going to be listing them just like this with my little white backdrop here, putting them up on eBay, asking for shipping. Make sure you do calculated shipping on these and sell them off that way. And now the remaining bulk cards that I have left are these lots right here. So I'm in the process of putting an ad together for my Yu-Gi-Oh! Set here. It's not a lot of cards, but there are some pretty decent ones here that are still sleeved. You know, they're only worth between $2 to $5 per card. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get about $100 for this lot right here, and again, selling it local. I also have a whole bunch of Magic cards, and granted right now they don't look like a whole lot, but this is a mix of cards that I got from my own personal collection back in the day. There really wasn't anything significantly valuable, but the fact that I can put in vintage 90s into my listing, I think helps sell this, and I'm hoping to get around $150 to $200. There are a lot of Magic cards here, and there's probably a lot of uncommons as well, maybe a few rares. Getting that kind of money for this lot would be a really big win for me, considering I know nothing about Magic, and I'm hoping someone who gets this finds some good cards here. And then last, this is what I have left of all of my Pokemon bulk. This is all commons, a few rares in there. There are energies, there are, let's see, there's energies, there's trainers, some sleeves, we have some tokens, some dice, random stuff here. We also even have some vintage sleeves as well, or these vintage binders. So I think those will sell pretty well too. I'm gonna put these at $200 locally, see how I do. I think I'll probably do better than I think. And so my point is, sell this stuff locally. If it's bulk cards and you've already pulled out some of the best, it's gonna be the easiest way to free up some space, and you really don't have to do a whole lot. No shipping, no fees, and it's work that feels kind of hassle-free. So do yourself a favor, take advantage of the local market, because sports cards and collectible cards are super hot right now, and a lot of people are looking for, surprisingly, bulk. So I've been watching other YouTubers and seeing how they invest in the card market, and there's some crazy investors in there. They look at the sports card and collectible card market like it's the stock market. And I don't think I'm at that place where I would be investing in cards like the stock market. Number one, I'm limited in my investment into the stock market. Number two, if I'm going to do any kinds of investments in general, I like to be in control of the outcome. However, I'm also a treasure hunter, and this channel is solely dedicated to seeing where we can pull treasure from and seeing how we can make money doing that. And of course, right now, sports cards, collectible cards, including Pokemon, they're insane right now. So with that said, I went and I took a different path on how to invest in the card market. I also saw that the market was kind of at the bottom or on its way up, and jumped in buying, instead of the individual cards, which were going for ridiculous money, I decided to start buying some of the wax boxes. And these were still affordable. Surprisingly, the wax boxes were slightly behind where the card value was. Let's try to snatch up as many of these boxes as I possibly can. Now, fair warning here, some of this I jumped in on this early, which means that some of you are wondering, well, why are you telling us this? How are we going to be able to do this? Some of these boxes of cards you can get anywhere. So I was using eBay to source some of this stuff, and some of you might be thinking, well, how am I going to get my hands on some of these boxes of cards? Well, eBay wasn't the only way I bought some of this stuff, and started calling some of the old card shops that I remember or had gone to, or some of the dealers that I used to remember back in the day, and I started networking and finding all the individual card shops, and I started calling all of them. Now, realistically, out of about 50 calls, I had 2 hits. Now, out of those 2 hits, one of them was I bought a whole bunch of boxes of these Fleer Ultra Series 2, got them for about $100 a piece, and right now I have them listed on eBay for about $300 a piece. I think that's right, maybe a little bit more than that. And my hope, of course, is that I'm not only gonna double up, but just make a little bit more than that. So that is a win from having made a cold call. The other cold call where they shipped these were these Pro Set 1989. These were the Series 2. This has the Troy Aikman and the Barry Sanders rookie cards in PSA 10. They go for really good money. So these boxes were really affordable very recently. Even now, I'm sure you could probably buy a few of them for between $50 to $100. Now, why would people buy this box? Well, because they hope to pull the PSA 10 version of that card, which going for thousands of dollars, yeah, it makes sense to spend $250 on the potential to make a few thousand. That's the gamble. That's the lottery that other people are willing to take. Yes, I've opened a few of these boxes here and there. I've even opened a few of them on my channel. You can find some of these deals on eBay if you have your notifications set. I have notifications on Craigslist, Mercari, and eBay for certain sets of cards or certain boxes of cards, and when they show up, I'll get a notification. I'm looking or calling or trying to email as quick as I possibly can. It doesn't always work that way, but when you find them at a particular price, knowing that you can sell them for much higher, that is an investment strategy that I have a lot of control of and feel very comfortable doing. But 2 of my best deals were based on luck and buying at the right time. I bought this 1989 box of Fleer basketball. It is sealed by a reputable card shop. This is not Baseball Card Exchange. This is OPC, and they have an incredible website. You should check it out. I bought 4 boxes of those at around, I think the average price was about $425. These boxes now are selling almost at $2,000 a piece. If you can find the 89 Fleer at a local shop and you can get them for under $1,000, definitely pick them up, because you can flip them for more than $1,500, between $1,500 to $2,000. Definitely be on the lookout for Fleer basketball. And that leads me to my last investment. So I have 2 boxes sitting right here. These are 2 cases of 1990 Fleer that I paid a total of about $10,000. And some of you might be thinking, what are you doing? And I thought that myself at first. I put a massive premium on these on my eBay listing. And why is this set selling for so much money? Well, a few months back, the PSA 10 Jordan, the base set card, was going for about $100 to $150 in PSA 10 form. That's true. That's exactly what it was at. It is now selling for almost 10 times that. It's probably more like 9 times, about $1,000 for one of those cards. And the truth is that number is going to change very soon, because a lot of people who have opened these packs, sent their cards in to be graded, they still haven't gotten their cards back, which means that there is going to be an overwhelming number of Jordan PSA 10s that will be hitting the market, bringing that number back down, which means that these boxes right here will also go down in value. So you have to time things on when the individual card is skyrocketing to when you can get the most money for these. And I certainly don't want to be stuck with these knowing that I invested so much money in them, thinking that if I sold them less than what I paid, that would be a massive fail for me. So let me summarize exactly what my investment strategy is so it's as clear as possible, because that was a lot of information thrown at you. Sports cards, collectible cards like Pokemon and Magic, if you can get your hands on the packs that hold the cards that are being sold for thousands of dollars, then you have an opportunity to make a little bit of margin there. So you have to be able to identify what is the individual card value. And I'm going to use basketball as an example. That particular sport has cards going just out of control right now, especially modern. But if you can see the trend of that card and you're actually watching the prices, and I'm looking at them every single day, then use that as your guide to determine whether or not you think it's worth getting into buying the boxes. It's my investment strategy. It does not have to be yours. And a lot of people might poke holes in exactly what I'm doing. There's no science behind this. I've had some success. I'm making some profit doing it, but there's some risk, obviously, no matter what you're doing in the card market. So make sure you're being careful. Any type of investment can have some risk in it. So I just want you to know exactly what you're doing. Be well educated before you go into buying any of these boxes. So we're gonna do some math here. I calculated I spent over 200 hours getting all of my cards prepped and ready to go. And that's a pretty significant amount of time. If you look at that, that's 5 weeks, 40 hours a week. So let's break those numbers down, shall we? So I spent over 200 hours organizing all of my bulk cards. Cards that I had purchased at storage lockers, garage sales, thrift stores, all of the cards that I had. I pulled all of them out, looked through every single one of them, and that ended up being 200 hours. And that also equals 5 weeks at 40 hours per week. Or you can look at it another way. It was 5 total weeks at 25 days at 8 hours per day. Tripler approves that math. My sales goals per day are at $700 at a 50% margin, which really means I'm looking at daily profits of $350 per day. Now that goes down certain months and it goes up in other months. So obviously Q4 is a lot better than Q2 and Q3. So that turns out to be $43.75 per hour. And that is a phenomenal number, especially for someone who's trying to do this part-time. Now, if the estimated value on all of the cards after fees is $12,500, let me qualify that, meaning all of the graded cards, every dollar I've put into it, it turns out after fees is $12,500.
then you could do that calculation, $12,500 in value, divided by the 200 hours, it equals $62.50 per hour. So it turns out that $62.50 per hour versus my $43.75 per hour, well, yes, that is worth much more, and I'm happy I went through this process. The results were definitely good.
I'm finally at a point where I'm putting in all of the data into the PSA system so that I can get these cards in the mail and sent off. What I'm learning, since this is truly my first time ever having done any submissions to PSA, is that it's a delicate process. You have to be organized, and if you are not, then you're gonna have a bad time.
If you run into another skier, your skis are gonna cross, you're gonna have a bad time.
If you're doing something like Pokemon cards, where it's not something as simple as like a baseball card that's year, brand, number, and you're kind of done. With Pokemon, there are different sets, there are different types of that particular card and that card number, and there are just so many different variations that pop up. You can help yourself by putting in the right title. I'm still not at that point where I know what title to put in perfectly so my card shows up, so I'm spending extra time trying to find the card. On top of that, then you also have to tell what the valuation of the card is. And one of the challenges here is that you have to know the value of the cards, because if you put a valuation of over $200 while you're in the process of putting in all of your cards that are under $200, well, then you'll get a notification saying you can't put that card in here. You have to go back out, select the correct criteria for cards that are over $200, and it's just a process that I'm learning, I'm trying to figure out, but it's extra time. We're gonna go to time lapse. You're gonna see me looking up the card value, inputting the data into PSA, and then on the back end, tracking all of the cards that I'm submitting and making sure that I know exactly what I put in, separate from what PSA might spit out to me. So enjoy this little time lapse.
Here are the 4 Pokemon cards. I've got it in a little plastic baggie with the order, I think it's the order submission form, 2 copies, and everything kind of bundled here. Here's number 1, here's the big one, here's number 2, and again, both submission forms, both copies of the submission forms are here, kind of bundled together. And now I'm gonna show you how nicely they fit into this box. I love all of this process.
Look at that. I mean, that is beautiful. Oh, baby.
Then you just wait like a long time. Just chilling, waiting for my cards to show up. Honestly though, if you want your cards back faster, you're gonna pay more money per card. If you don't mind when you get your cards back and you can pay the lowest level, which is exactly what I did, you're probably going to get the bulk of your cards back sometime 8 months later. That's not a joke. But the 4-card Pokemon submission has come back. I did pay express on this one, so I think it was, how much it was it $25 a card? I don't remember exactly what it was, but this one finally came back. We're gonna open this one up. You also saw that I sent off a whole big stack as well, and then I've since sent another stack of sports cards. So I have in total, I think it's over 225 cards that I'm waiting to get back, which I don't anticipate getting back until after summer. It's a long wait. They are so backed up that, yeah, I guess it is what it is. Plus, the card market is going to fluctuate so much between now and then. Let's dig into this. All right, I just cut open the back and the sides. Oh yeah, all right, okay. It's go time. Let me get the camera set here. All right, folks, with a little bit of Michael Jordan in the background, helping us with luck, we're gonna pull the first card here. This is a Charizard. This is from Base Set Unlimited. This is a PSA 5. That's all right. Honestly, I wasn't expecting a whole lot from these. I was definitely hoping for better than a 5, but I certainly wasn't expecting any 9s or 10s, that's for sure. This is definitely nice. Love seeing this. Happy with it. It's better in plastic than as raw, so I don't know how much this is. We'll flash on the screen what a PSA 5 is worth, but hoping more than 500. We'll see. And the next one is a Blastoise, also a PSA 5. Woohoo! We are hot right out of the gate. You know, these cards weren't bad at all, even though I know you can't see what I'm seeing on camera. There's definitely white at the top there. That's not good. That's not good. This definitely deserves a 5. Anyway, let's flash on the screen what a 5 is worth. And for any of you wondering, I had nothing into these. These two came from a locker back in like 2013, 2012. And then these other two came from a locker out of Huntington Beach in like, when was it, 2018? Yeah, something like that. So we have another Charizard, and we got a 6! Oh yeah! So much nicer. All right, well hey, look, a 6 is fine with me. Again, not major expectations. Happy about that. I genuinely I'm happy about that. So let's flash on the screen what this one's worth. But hey, that's 3 down, 1 left to go. And let's see what we got. Blastoise, oh, a 7! Nice! All right. I mean, I guess when you have 2 5s and a 6, a 7 looks pretty good. 7 looks pretty good. Yeah, all right, I'll take that. Fantastic. All right, so let's review those again. We've got a 7 for a Blastoise Holo, 6 for a Charizard Holo. These are all from Base Set Unlimited. None of these are Shadowless or First Edition, unfortunately. And then we have 2 PSA 5s. Probably keep these, hoping that the market does do what it did on the Jordan. I have a PSA 5, I'm the PSA 5 guy. I have a PSA 5 Jordan here. Spent, I think, $3,200 on this last year, and this is now, I think, doubled, maybe more than that now in price, so yeah. Anyway, I'll hold on to these two, we'll sell these two, and see what we get. Yeah, that was fun. Not bad, huh? That was today's episode. That was a lot of information, a lot of staring at my face. I do not know enough about the sports cards or the collectible cards market to be able to say that I'm any sort of an expert. I used to collect back in the early mid-90s, and then I just stopped, right? I never collected Pokemon cards until I was actually really into reselling, but trying to put this all in the context of how my channel operates, which is finding treasure wherever you can and then trying to flip that for a profit. There's no question there was profit in all of these cards, and though you didn't see every single card that I found, I mean, I had 89 Griffies, I had Jordans from, 90 Fleer, I had the David Robinson rookies, I had some Shaquille O'Neal rookies. There's so many cards, and yes, granted, I could show you every single one of those cards, but there's no way that going through this, that would have been worth it. What we'll do is we'll have another PSA review a number of months from now where we can take a look at that. So rounding it up, we talked about where can you sell all of your bulk stuff. I recommend doing it locally. How to invest in sports cards. I also recommend buying boxes of cards versus buying the slabs. Investing your time is also critical, making sure that your hourly wage is in line with the money that you want to make every day as a reseller. And then ultimately, we looked at the PSA submissions, we had some fun doing that, and I hope that your PSA or graded card submissions come back and they are better than your expectations. Mine were probably right at it or maybe slightly below it. Nothing really outstanding there, but it was still fun to open them up and check them out. If you have made it this far, if you've actually gotten this far in the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. And if you are a passive viewer and you are not yet a subscriber, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I would love to have the dialogue with you every single week. Thank you again for stopping by. I always appreciate it. Have a nice weekend, and I will see you next time. Take care.